Right, it's at 1:31 p.m. on the clock, and this is Ronak Kotecha. You're still tuned into Talk Health on Talk 100.3. Well, before going into the break, we spoke about this exciting study that has come up, which says how the process of graying of our hair can be reversed. Now they're trying it on the mice right now, but very soon they might do human trials as well. And if it becomes a reality, then it will be very good for people like us who don't want to really flaunt their grays. But I did ask you guys what you feel about the Pehla Safed Bal and what was your reaction, and messages are pouring in. I've got like so many messages. I'll pick out a few interesting ones. The first one is from Neeta. She says her Pehla Safed Bal was kind of a shocker to her because she's a South Indian and she uses a lot of oil on her hair, like she oils her hair a lot, and so she never expected that she will get her first grey in her late 20s, but now she's learned to live with it. Good. Till that study comes up, it's better that all of us start accepting it and start living with it. Then there is a message from Nayantara. She says, I don't know why in my culture the first grey strand is never allowed to pluck. Our elders say this is a blessing. So in my case, it was just not one blessing but bountiful. I love flaunting my grays because they are of my wisdom and experiences. Nice, well put. But let me give you a small word of advice also, Nayantara. I don't think plucking is advisable anyway, because you can have a range of problems if you pluck your hair suddenly like that. And most of the things that elders say like which are in our culture and stuff like that, I've always seen they have some or the other scientific root to it. They have some or the other scientific rationale to it. So the reason they don't allow you to pluck your first grey is because it could cause some problems in your scalp. So that's why. Then there's Sukanya. She says she flaunts her grays like a pro, and that's getting her a lot of compliments. It makes her look intellectual. Well, good for you, Sukanya. Then Jayashree says that she's found a new remedy, which is coffee powder, lemon and shampoo. You apply for a while and wash it off. She's saying you mix it all and then apply. Well, I wouldn't really advise any remedies here unless we have a certified hair specialist. When we get that person on the show, we'll definitely ask if what Jayashree is doing is right or not. But for now, it's time to move on to a somber message that has come on the show. It has nothing to do with the grays and the study that we mentioned about, but it is from Pinky, and she wants to share something really important. And I read the message and I thought that this should be said on air, and it could be very inspiring for everyone. Pinky says, hello, I want to share something on this platform and hope parents like me will be benefited. My elder sister was born with a congenital heart defect called ventricular septal heart, commonly known as a hole in the heart. It was more than 40 years ago, and in those days people were not much aware. My parents thought operation of the infant will be very painful, so decided to wait until she turns 5, but that wasn't a good decision. She suffered for 5 long years and the post-operative days were very painful. Later, doctors told my parents that an infant's sensitivity to pain is much less, in fact, negligible compared to older kids. So when my child was born with a rare defect in the stomach, without any delay, he was operated, and believe me, he didn't experience any pain at all. My child surgeon often asks me to share my experiences with all the new parents whose babies are having congenital disorders. Well, that's a very good story, Pinky. Thank you so much for sharing it, and I hope you are listening to us right now, and everyone who's listening to us right now has taken a leaf or two out of this story, where of course any health condition, the sooner the better. You don't have to sit on health problems, and that's just one thing that is so universal when it comes to health. Moving on, let's talk about this another serious health condition that affects women, and it's very rare. When I say this, a lot of you might be shocked. Actually, heart disease is the condition, is a health concern that affects many women. Now, according to a study, heart disease is more prevalent in women than breast cancer, yet it's often overlooked and underdiagnosed, and it's often seen as a male problem. Well, heart disease is the leading cause of death for women worldwide, accounting for 1 in 3 deaths. Many women are unaware of their risk factors and may not seek medical attention until it's too late. And it's really true, and I can give you examples from my own friends and family where this has been a problem. Risk factors for heart disease in women include high blood pressure, that's hypertension, high cholesterol, smoking, diabetes, obesity, and a family history of heart disease. One of the reasons that heart disease is often overlooked in women is that the symptoms can be very different from those experienced by men. While men typically experience chest pain or discomfort, women may experience other symptoms such as shortness of breath, nausea, vomiting, back or jaw pain, or unexplained fatigue. These symptoms can be subtle and easily attributed to other causes, which is why it's very important for women to be aware of these risk factors and seek medical attention if they experience any unusual symptoms like these. So fortunately now, but there are steps that women can take to reduce their risk of heart disease. Lifestyle changes such as regular exercise, of course, needless to say, I think we say this every day on our show. A healthy diet, quitting smoking, and managing stress can help. I know it's easier said than done. Managing stress especially, because I always say that stress is not something that you take, it just comes to you. But there are things that you can do to manage your stress, and try to just keep telling yourself that life is beautiful and do things that you like. In addition, women should also be aware of their blood pressure and cholesterol levels and should discuss any concerns with the healthcare provider on a regular basis. So the heart disease is a serious condition, and women often overlook it because they always think that it's a men problem. And recently, when I was in India, I visited a friend of mine in Bangalore because he lost his mother. She was very fit and she was only 66 years old, but she was very active. And I have known auntie for such a long time, and when I got to know this, I was really shocked. She died of a sudden heart attack. All of a sudden, she was shopping the previous evening with my friend. She had gone on a scooty with him, and they'd gone out shopping, and she was all fine. She was absolutely active. Nobody ever thought that this would happen, but as per my friend, she was not taking her hypertension medicines. Those are the blood pressure medicines that are prescribed. Those need to be taken, and blood pressure needs to be monitored if you're diagnosed with hypertension. And that's what my friend told me, and that could have been one of the reasons why the sudden emergency came, and she was even rushed to the hospital. She did get medical care, but by then it was too late, and we lost her because of a heart attack. And this is the new study that has come up, which says that women are at a major risk of heart attacks, more than even breast cancer. So a lot of things that were mentioned over here are actually stating the obvious, are very common things that we know about. It's just that we don't take enough care of ourselves, and we don't really think that this could be a symptom. And something like that happens, shortness of breath, you feel fatigued, you have diabetes, other comorbidities. You don't really think that this is going to affect your heart, but regular checkups are the way to go, because as I always say, prevention, awareness is always better than cure. In fact, sometimes it is the cure. So on that note, let's move on to the last leg of the show and listen to some more soulful music right here on Talk 100.3. This is Talk Health. This is Ronak Kotecha. Good afternoon.
Talk 100.3. A golden duck, an unexpected boundary, a strike in the air.